YouTube, thanks you for tuning in, whatever you want to call it. We will going to review a Ramattra in this game. Let's read the Reddit post first. What? Closest game I've had. The code, in-game name, Monkey, calling Monkey, playing Ram, Diamond 4, Eichenwalde. Hey, so I have a previous VOD reviewed extensively, so I'm hopeful this gets some feedback too. I felt I played decently, really close ending, whilst it obviously doesn't mean too much. Had the highest element damage in the match and the lowest deaths. However, I felt I was focusing the right too much, but any feedback is welcome. Yeah, well, stop focusing Ryan so much. hope it helped. Hope it helped. Highest damage, lowest deaths is of course can be a sign. Oh, I did well, but it also can be a sign of, well, the entire team just ignored you and killed you last, and yeah, your team died around you. It's also not very good for you, right?
Ready for battle.
So what we want to do is carry our team through the choke, well, without taking too many resources, reset as fast as we can, and then go to point and clap him. That's our goal. That's the wrong one. That's the wrong one. This is the correct one. Why are you jumping? Oh, I forgot to stop my soundboxes. Let's stop the music as well. Okay, so yeah.
You are safe with me.
It's kind of okay. But at the same time, what is our goal here? Is it to get Reinhardt's shield lower? Like, and now your team is dead and you did basically nothing, right? And that is not random. This is the position you decided to play in. So what happens? What happens is the enemy team has a little bit of a small concave in this case. It's not a big one, but you have players on this angle, and you see they go all around to here, and of course with the gantry on top. And your team now walks one after one into this angle. So if you look at this from the top. So we have here this map, and now we draw lines on the screen. These are the line from Anna and Baptiste. This is the line from Torp's turret. This is the line from Torp. Okay? So everything on the right side up to here. So this entire red area is where your team will get shot, right? So let's just let it play. And you see your entire team ducks left side of this cloak, which means the enemy team can just spray into this cloak, doesn't need to aim, and will get automatic easy value. And you see how none of your teammates are actually able to cross this and have trouble crossing this. And even worse, the Genji can just go in and do stuff while you do nothing. What are you doing? You're shooting at the Rhine shield. And this might not be enough. You could say, well, you had Pharah Widow, so they have long range, which means they might play slower until they find a pick. And you play slower, that is fine. The question is, if you decide you play slow because of your team and because of what you see, what is then your reason?
Hello there.
Spike! Damn! Back from work! Welcome back from work, Spike! Hope you're having a great day. So, what is your reason to not use any cooldowns whatsoever? What's your reason to not suck down Ryan to the grind, just do random damage, or, you know, throw the slowing field onto the Baptiste or Anna, hoping your Pharah or Widow hit an easy shot? What is your reason to not shoot at these guys behind Ryan's shield? What is your reason to not use your shift ability and punch the Ryan if you're not planning to walk through anyway? Like, the fight is lost before you use your first ability and you're already low in resources.
You are safe with me.
So what your goal would actually be is the following. If you have cover, you just use cover. You shoot, if you're low, you go back to cover. Ideally, you shoot with your armor, so you take less damage with your shift and go back to cover if you're allowed to because of distance. As soon as you want to use abilities, you throw both your shield and your slowdown and you walk through, you cross. Okay? You can cross to here and clear high ground, because there's a Genji, but it would be fine. You have time. You don't need to cross in the panic and run to point. But you kinda... Ideally, you would like to cross and create more angles for the enemies. Like standing here shooting Ryan's shield is usually not a good idea in this type of cloaks. Now, if you would run through, you would do roughly the same. But what I would not do is stand here at this corner where you are already safe, and use shield on cooldowns only on doing the same stuff, basically. Because you see this, your shield is basically doing nothing. It really didn't change anything, right? You want to use your shield to aggressive position, a little bit more aggressive, take more resources from the enemies without taking too much damage. And because the shield allows you to reposition for 3 seconds, so you can position here, you can position here, you can position here inside, it really doesn't matter. Pick any position, and this shield allows you to transition from position A to position B without taking damage, or you transition to the right side, you're safe, and then you place shield on the left side for your team to transition as well. And then your team can walk through. This is a little bit more random because your team might want to walk through, might not want to walk through. So in general, could you have expected the Genji to kill stuff? Yes, because Genji is diving right into it and you ignore the high ground. Like,
You are safe with me.
like you hear the deflect behind you, you do not react to it, right? But you could have. This is the advantage of cloaks. At any point in time, you can just disengage and shoot at the Genji. At any point in time, you're totally free. Now, boss of DPS died. Now it's really pointless to do stuff. And now we don't stagger, we just wait. Now your only goal is to not die. Is your only goal now. Well, doesn't go too well, does it? You just staggered. Both of DPS were dead for a long time. You didn't need to die here as well. You could have just walked back. Okay, now the situation changed. Now you have a Mei and a Genji. Okay. Now your fighting distance changed. I hope you noticed it in your game. So before you had 2 long-range heroes, basically now you have 2 close-range heroes. So now you have to get close and personal and walk through the cloak with your team. So now you want to use your entire cooldowns to go through with your team. And this again, you place a shield, but you're not walking. If you place shield, you walk. If you don't walk, if you take cover, you don't place shield. Keep your cooldown. Also, throw the healing field on high ground to annoy these guys, do some damage, and make it easier for your Genji and stuff to damage on them. Interesting attempt. But again, you see, you're not initiating anything. Don't be so afraid to trade blows with the Rhine. Really, just go to some corner, left or right, wait till you get healed. Then use all your 3 abilities, place shield in front of the supports, place slow wherever, either on top or on Ryan, and then just go punching on Ryan and walk into the choke, into the small room, and onto Ryan, walk through the choke. Get through the choke with your abilities. Okay, this will be your goal. So what is about the focus on this Ryan? It's actually fine. Again, I just don't like your shield, really. So if your shield is here, it's kinda okay. Like, Ryan's isolated, so pushing this Ryan's totally fine. Of course, enemies win now because they have ult advantage, but it was fine. You forced ults and stuff, so it's okay. If you had a believable win condition, it's fine. I think. But the thing is, the enemies still snowballed harder. And the thing is also, shield shooting also you don't get ult charge. So the thing is, if you shoot shields, you really should not die. I feel like. Because the real action comes afterward, and you kind of only shot shields and did nothing else, and then you died, so you didn't get much done in general. So if you have something else to shoot, try to shoot something else. Because you can kill Ryan with your punches and go through the shield. Right, you don't need to shoot the shield with the left click.
Enemy turret destroyed. They are vulnerable.
Like this, for example. Like, you're walking backwards so far? Why? You can totally go up to here and see if you find an angle or something, and if not, then not. Well, sucks, but at least you deny more positions. If you try to shoot through Ryan, because he will block it with the shield anyway, you don't need to aim at the shield. He will place his shield inside your shots. You don't need to aim at the shield, he will do it for you. And if then he continues to push, well, you just switch to punchless and go to the right side and punch him. It's fine. But you're kind of going back, and you deny yourself from doing anything else. Like here. You see this? How you follow Ryan? And just continue to walk backward. Like here, for example, you could have just placed your shield and shot the Anna. Kill the Baptiste, kill the Anna. Just throw 3 abilities on them and one of them will die. Like... Where was it? Here, for example. Baptiste is dead. You have all cooldowns. You can cut off his heal from Anna. You can tie him to the ground and just shoot him dead. What is he going to do? Like, you have your abilities, but you really are not using your abilities for anything, really. Like, use them to change positions, to cross positions, or use them to push something, to kill something. Like, there's a free Anna. Why are you shooting the Torp? There's a free Anna.
Hello there.
Yeah, again, Ryan takes 50% less damage. Why you care for the Ryan? Throw your slow field here, press Q and run them over. You get 3 kills. GG. Like, Ryan will not outkill you if you play correctly. And if it does, you just need to play better, but now you are just denying your own value. You played Ryan's game instead of playing your own. Okay. We should use our abilities. What do we do? Okay, what shall we do with our abilities? What shall we do with the drunken Ramattra? What shall we do? Any ideas? Apparently nothing. Okay. I mean, this is solo Reinhardt without support. Do you really need to use everything on this Rhine? Like, not only your abilities, but also your ultimate and everything?
Stop the payload.
It feels like a hard investment for nothing. Like, I mean, be the master of your own game. You see here's this Rhine going in. Like, if they come, then you press Q. If they do not come, you don't press Q. And wait for the enemies first to come and then press Q. Like, don't punish enemies for mistakes they didn't even make. You just punish yourself. Because basically Ryan wasted his entire life, but you kind of redeemed his life by giving him values by baiting your ult. You didn't ult. I'm an idiot. Never mind. I take everything back. You didn't ult. What? You didn't ult. I take everything back. Sorry, I thought you ulted. It was my mistake. Oh, everything's fine. Well done. Yep. Okay. You can bounce your slow field off from walls and then it lands somewhere on the side. So you could annoy Baptiste with that. And help your Genji do stuff. Because again, you're not using your abilities really for anything, so... Yeah, I recommend to not stand still, especially not with a weapon like you spam from long range, just wiggle around. Less headshots from top. Use your abilities, Like, in this situation, you really want to have maximum effect. Like, use everything at once. Throw everything into Ryan's face. Everything counts. Like, even the slow field would have been enough to kill the Rhine. All good. So it's a little bit illegal, because honestly, this is a mistake not from your side, but from the enemy side. I'm not sure why, but enemies really shouldn't hold here. They really should hold here. And this is really a mistake from the enemies. So usually you should clear castle and stuff, but apparently this is a non-thing anymore. I don't know why people don't know this, but they should play high ground and you should clear high ground. So this entire situation was a little bit awkward. So in general, what you would like to do more is like push more corners. Like you see that you kind of just walk around on the main. Like you just walk like this. basically the same way as a payload. And instead, what you want to do is you go to this corner, then you go to this corner, then you go to this corner or this one. I don't really care which one, and so on. So you go from corner to corner, not on the center. This is just small passing stuff. Like here you're punching Ryan. Why do you need to turn your back onto the enemy Anna? Like, do you get anything from it? Not really. Like you have 10-meter range. As long as Ryan is in range, you don't need to get closer. Like here, I can understand why you do it. So it's kind of also okay. Because you just want to get as many of them as possible, so you are in the center between them. So it's fine. So it's not a specific critic about the situation, it's just it seems you don't have this training to do it by default. And your autopilot should be to be on close to cover. It seems like the autopilot's not close to cover, so it's like from what I see, it's like you see you don't play this corner. What you would play against Reinhardt, you would just close the sideline, but instead you go just backwards onto the center of the point. But now you're open to everything, right? Like you're shooting only a Ryan, but everyone's shooting into your back, so it's like you see how you never use any cover. Like cover is really not in your mind. And this means, of course, the enemies can decide when they do damage to you and when not. But you want to decide when you want to get damage, and you want to get damage when it's good for you, which is when you have cooldowns, when you have line of sight to your supports, when you have your abilities up, when you have armor, when you have shield. This is when you want to take damage. But you want to be able to deny the damage if you don't have this stuff. Then you just want to get into cover to make it easier to heal yourself. But you kind of this cover in general is just not in your general mindset, I feel like. And so this might not have changed this outcome of this game, but it will improve your gameplay in general. So be more specific about what you use your abilities for, and use cover. Yeah, and of course, yeah, don't shoot the Ryan, but the Anna if you can. And again, you kind of tend to go the long range, like you want to push up, like. This is the reason why you don't go through the castle with Mei and Genji, like they're close range heroes. Moira close range. Your teammates are totally fine by pushing through close. Like you don't need the high ground mostly, but clearing Baptiste from high ground would also be nice. You know that he doesn't shoot you in the back. Like Baptiste can just stand here and heal and shoot your entire team in the back. It's very annoying. So clearing high ground would be a good idea. But you're kind of defaulting to the left side where you have no cover. Like even if you go to the main, you kind of would go to this cover. So if you go left side, you usually would want to rotate to high ground from here. That would be fine if you do this rotation. Let's see. And now you just hop like a bunny on main. Well, at least you go closer to the wall, but really... And now you split from team because they at least understand they need to go to castle. But the supports follow you, so you really split your team. Really go to castle. It's like the same as in Hollywood second point, or Eichenwald second point, or... Everything second point is there is a central high ground. Clear the high ground if the enemies are occupying it. And if there is a shortcut, takes a shortcut. Like Junkertown, third point, you can most tanks just for some reason just go all around instead of just a small shortcut through the mega health pack. Like you have a close range team. But you are fighting long range. Where the turret on top get most value basically compared to your Gantly and Mei. Yeah, once they died for it because high ground's not cleared, okay. And then you are standing awkwardly in the main without any cover. Like, you reached again the only position on the map where there's no cover. And you see, yeah, well, you don't really see it. But your team really has trouble pushing up because as soon as they push up, they have no cover and they will die. So really your choice of where to fight was really poor. You should have cleared castle. You should have cleared high ground. You should have went the short route. Okay, now it's kind of won, so it's fine. Very random. Yeah, again, you just walk around without cover. But this was in general okay, because well, there was not a clean team fight, so this is just, well, we take what we get situation, so it's not very interesting. It's like halfly one team fight, random Baptiste, random Genji do random stuff, so it's really messy. It's outside of our control, so we ignore it. There's a Genji. Why are you shooting the Ryan? Shield. Like, shooting Ryan is fine, why are you shooting the Ryan shield? Aim first, punch later. Again, use your ability for something, like use your ability to hunt the Torp. Don't hunt the Torp and then use your ability afterward. Use your ability to hunt the Torp. Like you have your slow. Use this. If you punch top, use the slow on the top. Like, you just do more damage to the top. It just increases your burst. Your damage and the slow on him. It makes it easier for your team to follow up on him. But instead you just threw it away for, well, not really anything. What does the shield do? Not really something. Because why is this shield? Why did I say this? What does the shield do? So, what is the situation? This is the classic situation we discussed with the Silver 2 Ramattra as well. You have space, which is this upper part of the map. Same concept as yesterday, guys. By the way, exactly the same concept. The enemies have space, which is this part of the map, right? And now everything that goes in between, this triangle or whatever you want to draw it, will get clapped, will get damaged. This is a contested space. So what you want to do is be safe and push up until this space, as long as you can do it for free, as long as enemies are not contesting, because they cannot. If they walk around, they will die. But now your payload has reached the spot, so now so your time of softening up the enemies, baiting the cooldowns and so on is over. Now you need to go all in and clap them if you can. Can you do it? Maybe. How you do it? Well, aggressive shields, aggressive aggressive going in. So this is like a go-in situation. This is switched from I poke from afar to I go in. Why is it this way? Well, because your team can no longer draw enemy resources efficiently. Mostly. I need to reduce my frame rate if I see something. I'm very sorry. Should have done it earlier. Your team cannot decide to shoot the Rhine for free anymore. Because what happens is, which color do we choose? It doesn't matter, black. So, no, let's imagine they have a tank. I'm a little bit confused, honestly. Where is the tank? There is a tank. There is a tank. So now there is a tank. So actually, it was a little bit past these lines, but the thing is now, the enemy Rhine can now turn on his shield, and your team can only see the shield. So your team can only shoot into the shield. I should have drawn this in green. So your team now shoots the shield. So your team is standing in the death zone and is shooting Rhine's shield, right? But the enemy team now has full access to shoot your all line of sights from you. Your enemy team can shoot everything because you don't have shield, basically. Which means for your teammates to not die here randomly, you need to go deeper and force the fight on the enemies. So if Rhine keeps up his shield, he will get punished by your puncher, so he needs to swing as well, basically. Because, again, if your team just goes to blue, they will just die and just trade death with shield, which is bad for you. So the situation where you just poke from afar is over. This is where this shield would have been nice, because then the trades would be across this line, if the fight would have been long range. But now the fight turns this corner, so you need to turn the fight this corner. So again, what was the purpose of this shield? Well, there is no purpose anymore, because you kind of misplaced the shield too far back for no reason. Like, you should have placed the shield to cut off the Torp, for example. Place the shield to cut off Rhine from his healers. Like, think of a specific purpose. Which shots am I currently denying? So who is shooting on the enemy team, and who do I make stay safe through this shield? Like, who's really shooting? Like, Baptiste a little bit? Like, Torpor a little bit? Like, who's shooting for your team? The Junkrat a little bit? Like, your team is not really shooting, the enemy is not really shooting. No one is really shooting, right? So it's just this preload phase, but you already waste abilities for no reason. So place the shield around the corner would have been better, shortly said. Also, I totally would have ulted into this. Yeah, I totally would have ulted here. It's like a little bit hard to explain because honestly your team doesn't really die. But keeping all 5 teammates alive around this corner is really valuable because you will not get respawns anymore. And an entire Genji is worth more than your ult. In general. Like, not really, but somewhat. And also you would have kind of denied any possibility of them to regroup on time. Would have ulted into this. Now you're walking backward in a 4-on-3 situation. This is absolute hardcore throwing. This is absolute hardcore throwing.
Devour them.
Yeah, like Ryan and again, that's it. You have entire team behind you. Go in and clap them. This is unexcusable to walk back here. This is a hardcore throw. Like, just press Q and run straight into Anna's face. Like, even if they sleepy, you get value. Like, it really doesn't matter. They cannot stop you anymore. But instead, you walk back, you give them a chance to regroup. Now you are 4 on 5 because they are regrouping. Now this is scary. Like, I don't know how good your ultimate reading is. Do you know that they do not have ults? Close to no ults? Do you know they are close to nano? Like, if Anna gets nano here by healing this Ryan, you lost. Oh, nano the Genji or whatever. Like, you see this? You're on 4 on 5 situation, you really suffer for it. Thank you, Nitro. Empty? Yeah, you see this? You kinda forfeited your chance to really push this through by saving your ult for no reason. It was a 4 on 3. The question is, why did you hesitate? I really do not know. Like, maybe you're kinda bad at skill fit reading, but this is a skill you kinda need to get to masters. Like, you need to be able to tell the amount of people alive in every team fight. This is really important. Because when to ult, how many ults to use becomes really, really important in this entire pressure game. And also, how close are you to any spawns, how close are you to your own spawns. These are getting really important questions if you want to climb to masters. And you don't seem to handle them too well yet. Now the thing is that we have seen already a lot of more problems with your gameplay, like this not positioning around cover and like this randomly throwing abilities. So we have to talk a little bit about how to train this stuff. And I want to lose a few words about how to train this stuff. So first thing is, watch your where do we start? So first thing, watch a video on YouTube about deliberate practice. That's a very good term. You will always find it about any genre, about playing tennis, about playing League of Legends, about playing Overwatch. Deliberate practice. So playing is not practicing, but actually just training in game is your practice. So first is you train in ranked. You start your game to train a specific thing. Now I've given you a topic. So out of the 4 topics, cover, don't shoot the use abilities for something specific. Kill feed reading and ult management. Choose one topic, right? Then you say, okay, now you play a game only to train this topic. You don't care if you win, you don't care if you lose. You autopilot the entire game. You do not care. You think only about this one topic. For example, you think about ability usage, and you really think then, okay, what for could I use my shield in this situation? Then say, okay, I will turn around the corner, I will place shield after turning around the corner so I get cover. Or I will use a shield when I cross covers. Or I will use my shield when behind the enemy Ryan when I get Ryan so he doesn't get healed. So just 3 examples of what you can train with your shield. And you just pick one. And you train this one thing. And why do you limit yourself so hard? Because your brain works in patterns. When you cannot think about all the things during a single game. Like, this is too much information. You have a working memory of 5 items. That's it. And that's already occupied by basically map and team setup. So you don't have space in your working memory. So where do you have space? In your pattern reading. Then your brain can save limitless, countless patterns in your brain as a game. Like, you know, oh, Ryan is here, Clank is here, Genji is there. I have this ult, I miss this ult. Every single situation will be a single pattern. And this sounds insane, but it really is how it works. And these patterns will also consolidate to what's important, to not important, and so on after some time. But this is the reason why you train this way. You train this, I use shield this way as a pattern, and then your brain will automatically trigger, oh, these are the situations where it was successful, these are situations where it was bad. So you put a shield bad Ryan to cut off his supports, you clap the Ryan, you say, oh, the brain triggers, oh, it was nice. Next time you put a shield behind Ryan, but your team dies because they had Pharaoh Widow, your brain will just, this was bad. And then at some point, your brain will see the patterns and decide what's good, what's bad. And then you play only for this one topic. For this topic, you also watch high-level players doing the same thing with the shield. And every time they place the shield in your menu, you say, oh, there it is. The top 500 Ramattra player has placed the shield like I thought I should place it. And from this watching, your mirror neurons will activate and save the pattern. Good shield usage, bad shield usage. And then you watch your own gameplay and compare your gameplay to the top 500 player you just watched. And then you get finer, you get closer to this one topic. And this you do for every single topic. And every topic takes 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks, okay? So this what alone can take some time to train because these are big topics. Clifford reading, ult management are big topics. Cover usage can be trained faster, but it can be improved indefinitely. So you have to say, okay, it's good enough. And ability usage also can be very broad and gets more precise every time. You need to, at some point, you need to say, okay, I trained it enough for now, and I will train it later again. So this is it's a little bit problematic to list so many things in one vodreview. That's not good coaching. But I suggest you really work first on your ability usage. Have one specific, like watch your own VOD and think, formulate a specific sentence. I used my shield for this. I used my slow field to make shots from my Ana onto the enemy Genji easier. I used my shift ability to punch through Reinhardt's shield while my team is switching positions behind me. Like, I used my ult to run into 5 enemies and die like an idiot. Like, formulate a specific use for every ability in every situation. Like, make it really a sentence. Then you can say the sentence will sound stupid, the sentence sounds valid. It's simple as that. And after some time, you will save these patterns of this is good use, this is bad use, and then you can autopilot these abilities on a higher level. This is what you want to reach. So you want to deliberately focus on abilities to then later learn to autopilot abilities in a good way. Of course, it's pointless to be only good in abilities if you're focused on them, because again, you don't have enough working memory to focus on abilities too much. This will not work. Like, just to be very precise. Look at this. Further back. Here. Okay, let's watch this. What was the purpose of this shield? To deny shots from a Genji? Really? Was this the purpose of this shield? This shield looks like more, there is something in front of me, so I put my shield somewhere in front of me. It's like, duh. But maybe the shield towards Ana would be better because this actually denies more than the random shots from a Genji. Like, do you care from Genji shots? Really? Like, you do not block shield from hammer from Ryan. What's the purpose of this sucking down field? Well, the purpose is that Genji cannot cross around this corner, right? Okay, good, valid. If you can formulate like this, valid. Now, why do you use your shift ability? To punch the Rhine. This would be your sentence. Because I want to punch Rhine in the face. And I want armor, and I want to be allowed to cross this corner and block. So to cross this corner, you kind of want abilities. The question is, did you need to do it? Could you have just shot the Ana, and would it be more value? This is a question for you. Because now you formulate a sentence. Why did you use shift? Because you want to punch Rhine. But was it good? And now this sentence you can evaluate. Could you have just closed the sideline, shot at Genji, maybe? Could you have just stayed here and shoot the Ana, maybe? Would have been better, maybe. Maybe get the Ana low, so she gets scared and goes to the right side, and then punch Rhine. Because then the Rhine punches then your punch do not get healed instantly, and you get more value. Do you need to run around so far around the corner to punch the Rhine? No, you can't shoot it from punch him from here. And if you can just follow him straight, right? You don't need to swing wide outside of cover. And also, you could have just blocked. But honestly, your team needs the space to do anything. Right now, your team can't do anything. They kind of don't want to, so it's kind of fine. But it's a little bit more of a Junkrat's mistake, because Junkrat is constantly completely useless right now. So I would just stand in the corner and just block in this case. And define. What do you want to do? I want to block, so Junkrat can rotate behind me and bomb the enemies. Clear definition. I wanted to slow down the Reinhardt charge. Did it work? No. Stop doing it. I wanted to shield, but I failed. Okay, I don't know really. Wanted to shield healing from Ryan. Did it work? No, but I failed execution. Doesn't matter. Was a good idea. Yeah, was good. I used shift to hard chase the Ryan into the entire enemy team and back my tournament back to everyone. Was this good? Kinda no. Like again, your punches cannot be blocked. They go through shields. Like just go to here and cut off the sideline of some of them at least. Like you still jump around the payloads and punch from here, but do you need to punch Ryan in the back? Like if Ryan turns for you, he's an idiot because your punches go through shields. And now you die because you went into the entire enemy team without putting a shield first. So in this case, what was missing? Your shield. So what you should have done was, I placed shield so I can go inside the enemy team and punch Ryan for 3 seconds for free, because I cut off the entire enemy team with my shield. Would have been good shield use. Even though the entire ult for this was really... So the first hard throw was to not push with the ult when we were 4 on 3. The second hard throw was this. You just go on suicide. So again, you just walk out in the open, this is not allowed. Never. With any character, being out in the open is just illegal. So we have this classic kill box situation. I just draw my random rectangles. You should all know them by now. This is enemy team territory. Sorry. This is your team territory. And this small piece is kill zone for both teams. And this back here is kill zone for both teams. So the zones, of course, extend around the payload as well. So something like this, right? It's not really precise, but it really doesn't matter. And you not only stood in the blue zone, you crossed the blue zone into the red zone. Like, yeah, okay. Without cover. So if you want to do this, you need to minimize the impact you take. And how you do this? You use cover. So what you could have done was, well, first use shield to cross, but then you go to this corner, then you walk around to this corner. Or you cross the behind to this corner, and then go to this corner. And so on. Like imagine you hold this corner. Like you can shoot the Ryan and top, but the Anna, Baptiste, and Turret have trouble seeing you. So it's a little bit precise here, yeah? But your entire team, your team can heal you while being in cover. Both your teammates can do something while being in cover. Your Junkrat, well, Junkrat still have to peek the entire enemy team to do something, but that's his problem. Oh, oh, sorry. But at least you will not the only one to die. Like, use cover. Like you are dead here because you didn't use cover. Use cover. And again, don't be so, oh, I need to run into 5 enemies with my ult because my ult is going. Yeah, well, just kill one. Just use shield, slow field, ult, and blow up the torp. It's a guaranteed win. You're 5 and 4. What are they going to do? They dead.
30 seconds remaining.
Like you see this Ryan value? Like imagine top would be dead and you would be still alive and Ryan is doing this and you are still here with your ult going on. Yeah, they have problems, the enemies, right? But I think this is enough for now. I think we talked long enough. I hope this helps. As I know this was a little bit of sloppy coaching. I'm very sorry I didn't perform this better. So if you think, no, this is hard to follow, you are totally right, because I suck as a coach. But again, just focus on your abilities for now. I think this is really the biggest topic, and post vodreview again later. Really define specific uses for your abilities. And if you cannot do it in-game for now because it's too hard, start doing it in VOD reviews first. Just load any random game, doesn't win or loss or whatever. Watch your VOD, say, I use this ability to do this. I use this ability to do this. And then if you train this in VODs a little bit, then you can do it in real game. Then you focus on your one ability. I will use now my shield to do this. I will use now my shield to walk, to transition from one cover to next cover. I use my shield to block off Ryan from his support. I use my shield so the Orisa cannot kill the target, it just pinned onto the wall. I will use my shield to block the sleep dart. Whatever, it really doesn't matter. Say any comment, formulate any precise sentence about what you're doing and why you're doing it, and then you automatically evaluate, was it good or was it bad? Smart to dump. And also, you will notice, oh, last time I used my shield, I used my suck to slow down the torp and kill and hunt him, but this time I didn't. Maybe I should have. Because last time I did it, it worked, so maybe I should now as well. And these things will train automatically if you formulate the sentences and force your brain to watch these patterns. And this is really how you will get a lot better very fast in this ability usage, and this will help your Ramattra play a lot, I think. We watch one more random situation. See what if we can confirm what's going on. So we placed our shield, so we go back. He was our shield, sorry. So we placed the shield to go from cover into the open and shoot the entire enemy team. Yeah, why not? I take it. Because we want to hunt them down, that's good. But why didn't we use our slow field? We want to hunt them down. We used our shield for this purpose, but why didn't we use our slow field as well? Because this would help our cause, right? And also, again, hold the stupid high ground. Guys, please. I know the payload is there, but you can still drop onto this. Hold the high ground. Hold the doors from here. Like, hold the high ground from here. I do not care. Hold the castle. Like, you cannot be down here and die to a Bap. This is not a winning move. You will randomly die to any hit scan. And Bap is not hit scan enough to just crush your soul. Like, he can get random value and you can do nothing about it from down here. Like, if you start up here, and then and you see enemies go left, then you go, here, you're safe. If you start up here and you see enemies go right, you shoot at them, you shoot at them, you shoot at them, as you shoot at them, they go below, then you drop here and you're at the same position. A lot better. 1,000 times better. Oof, this is... I use my slow field to kill the Anna. Well, did my slow field really change anything? Not really. Block. Ooh. I blocked to get out of this situation because I left all cover and all sanity behind. I use the slow field to... What? I don't know. I really don't know what you were thinking. It might have been fine, like you want to pressure the Rhine more. And then you can think, did it really pressure the Rhine? Would it have pressured the Rhine if you hit him? Kinda no, because he just holds the shield up and falls off backwards anyway. Like, does it really do anything to Rhine? Not really. So why did we use it for? I use shield too? I don't know. I honestly don't know. Maybe you wanted to place it like more like here, and then it would be fine, and you just failed execution. Might be. I don't know what you were thinking. But then it would have been fine. Like, this is a little bit pointless. So, why didn't you shift earlier? I was a cooldown. Okay, I'm an idiot. Like, I used shield to isolate Genji from his team. Would be a valid reason. It kinda just failed, so... So it's fine. Like, you train this stuff by doing it, so it's totally okay. I would totally punch the Baptiste, not the Rhine. You will not get Rhine from your face as long as he gets healed, but you get Baptiste from healing Rhine if you punch him a little bit. I slowed down the enemy team to run away better. This looks random. Okay, this was really random. Yeah, but you see how you can, for every ability usage you did or didn't, you can comment why you did it. And then you see what you could have done with abilities instead. I slowed the Baptiste to emote him. Yeah, don't emote in ranked games, guys. I know you want to be funny and stuff, but really ranked is kind of the try-harding mode. So I find it rude to your team, honestly. Why are you running? I would totally go up here, place shields in front of Baptiste and poke them until they have no fun in the game anymore. And shield, slow field. Like, you have already... You're currently just giving ult charge to enemy supports, honestly. Like, just use abilities. You will not need them in the next 10 seconds, because there's no Rhine on field. I threw a slow field, so Genji cannot be in this corner? Why would he be in this corner? Like, imagine slowing this area now so the enemy team cannot push up to Reinhardt easily. I didn't use shield because I ult without shield. I'm cool like that. You do this really a lot. Place your shield before you use your ultimate. Like, you use shift to go in hard. Cut off the enemy sidelines with shield earlier. Like, you will not use shield anyway. You plan to go all in. Just place your shield really anywhere. Anywhere is better than nowhere. Just place your shield. Like, place it at Rhine to cut off his supports. Place it up here to cut off shots from Soldier. Put it into this door to cut off flankers. I do not care. Put it, just across the battlefield so it's more annoying to the enemies. And then go and do the same thing. Like, shield, that's right click, it really doesn't matter. Right click anywhere, right click into the wall. It will do more than it does now. This is good for you. I mean, they had all those ults anyway, and they used all their ults in the really scuffed meta. So this was really good for you in this case. It worked out, perfect. I will throw the slow field onto this choke now, so they cannot re-engage onto the soldier easily. Well, you closed off this instead. It's not really that impactful because they are really going through here. But same idea. Okay, we take it. Good enough. We had a purpose. I used shift to one-shot the soldier so it's more devastating for his soul. Okay. There's always good reason. It's fine. Now they don't have sleep for a few seconds. I use shield to not die. Use slow field in the correct position so they have more awkward time to pass through, that's fine. I use shift to block, perfect. To reach the cover behind me, perfect. Don't. There's 0 chance you are able to contest the payload now. Don't waste resources if you're not able to contest. Like, you see how much it costs to transition this? You really should. So this should have been a throw, apparently it wasn't. But at least put the shield down now. Like, okay. Stabilize, it's good, well done. I take it back, well done. I would not have done it. Honestly, I would have either just crossed and tried to contest here or crossed to this cover. Honestly, I don't know if I would be comfortable standing in Baptiste's window, but it was only short and you took the payload as cover and the Ryan falls back for no reason, so it was kind of fine. Like, you pretended you have a plan and the Ryan got scared, perfectly works. But the thing is, he kind of didn't need to. Like, he would have just clapped you with his hammer and you would just suffer. I think, I don't remember fully. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was fine. But that's from my feeling, I wouldn't have done it. I put a shield to... Look fancy? I mean, of course, now it splits off Ryan from his team, but it's kind of random and he could just waited it out, so it's... Yeah. Kind of yes, kind of no. A little bit lukewarm. Fine. You have very slow mouse sensitivity, feels like. Sometimes your turns look like on console. Like, just move your mouse faster if you turn around. Before you held here, and you felt fine because the payload is here, no payload is back here, now you don't hold here anymore. This is still a very good choke for you to hold, even without payload. You have 3-second shield, and that's enough for you to fall back. So you can totally be in this corner, be in this corner, be in this corner, peek here a little bit, and then just shield, fall back into safety, and make them pay for this way as well.
60 seconds.
Yeah, you kinda do it, but again, you're kinda out in the open, just pick a cover, like here. You know, cover the bookshelf. Okay, you denied the gantry. Well done. Cover. Okay, you choose cover. Again, this is just kind of too passive because you see where your team wants to be, and you kind of don't want to be there. It's kind of like like you want this to be your kill box. Why? So before we had this corner setup. Okay, let's maybe draw this. So now, what you can do is a kill box setup. Okay, we look at it from this area. What does it mean? You can build something called a concave. This is a terminology as told from games like StarCraft, where if you have a bunch of space marines, like a small shooting unit, you want them all to shoot at the same time on the same target. So how you do it? Like, pretend there is no background. So here's the enemy. So how you do it? You go around, and so everyone has the same distance, and everyone can shoot at the same time and do the same damage at the same time. Like if you have convex instead, then only the center one could shoot, and the outer ones could not shoot because they're out of range. Like this is the concave setup in strategy games. Like what you want to do here is set up a concave with your team. So you have someone's peeking this corner, for example, your Anna. Maybe at this payload, you have your Baptiste peeking. Maybe at this corner, you have the Torp. Maybe at this corner, you have the turret. And maybe up here, you have your Hanzo. And as soon as one enemy enters the red carpet, he gets clapped by 5 directions at once. Well, this enemy can see only one enemy at once, okay? And this is the advantage of cloaks. You can set up in this type of cloak in this manner, so as soon as an enemy comes through this area, he will see 5 enemies at once, but can include only one, and this is very good for your team. This is what you want to create. So, and you're kind of stealing the corner from your Hanzo. Like, you can't just be up at this corner. Yeah. Yeah, but we only want to look at your ability management, so I hope I made my example clear about counting your abilities. I think if you train this, you will climb a lot very fast, as I said. Even though my coaching session now was a little bit sloppy, I'm very sorry again, but yeah, I hope it will help you. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask either live on stream or in Reddit where I posted it, or on the YouTube video. In any comment section you find, you can ask. I mostly prefer it on stream because then I can demonstrate it again. It's mostly easier, and it's also easier to talk than to write. But some people prefer writing on Reddit, so then just write it up. It's totally fine. So with all of that said, I hope it helps you as well. To everyone watching on YouTube, thank you for tuning in, and see you next time. Bye bye.